God does not want you to help everyone. Many Christians think that helping everyone is always God's will, but the Bible clearly says that this is not the case. Helping certain people can cause you to lose your peace, stray from your calling, and even make you an accomplice to evil. In this video, we will look at the 7 types of people that God, in His wisdom, asks you not to help. And the last point is one that most believers are unaware of. God is love, and that love makes you want to help, serve, and support others. But God's wisdom also teaches you that there are limits. Helping some people can mess with your peace, stop you from reaching your goals, or even make you part of bad things. The Bible clearly says there are people God tells you not to support. Let's look at the 7 types of people God encourages you to avoid helping. Let me ask you a question that might just shake up what you think you know about being kind. Have you ever thought, even for a second, that God Himself, in His endless wisdom, doesn't want you to help everyone? That sounds against everything you've been taught, right? You're told to love your neighbor, to lend a hand to those who have fallen, to empty your pockets for those in need. And that's true, but it's not the whole truth. Because love without wisdom is like a river without banks. It floods and destroys instead of watering and giving life. Today, we're going to dive deep into this truth. You are meant to be a way for God's grace, a tool for His peace and His provision. But a good manager knows that not all ground is ready to receive the seed. Some ground is rocky, others are full of weeds, ready to choke out life before it even has a chance to grow. God's wisdom asks you to use good judgment. It asks you to see that sometimes your help, given with the best intentions, can actually make bad things stronger, encourage laziness, or make you part of destruction that God Himself tells you to avoid. Imagine helping someone who then uses your support to buy drugs and later commits a murder. Was that God's will? Love is the engine, but wisdom is the steering wheel that guides your actions towards a real and blessed impact. This journey we're taking together isn't about being hard-hearted, quite the opposite. It's a call for more spiritual smarts. It's a call to make your generosity line up with God's plan. For this, you'll get your ideas from the never-ending source of wisdom, the Bible. But you'll also light it up with leadership and self-improvement ideas from visionaries like Bob Proctor or Tony Robbins, who teach you to put your energy where it will grow the most fruit. Because God gave you a mission, energy, potential, and He expects you to use them wisely, like a good manager. So get your mind ready and open your heart. What you're about to hear might bother you, challenge you, but I promise it will set you free. And it will give you permission to set healthy boundaries, protect your peace, and focus your power where it can truly change lives, including your own. Get ready, because we're going to discover together the 7 people God, in His protective love, doesn't want you to help. This isn't a message of judgment, but a message of freedom. Let's go. God's wisdom warns you, don't help those who willingly keep doing bad things. This isn't about people who mess up sometimes, but about those who make bad deeds their way of life. The Bible says in Proverbs 19:19, a hot-tempered person must pay the penalty. Rescue them, and you will have to do it again. We shouldn't cover up or excuse destructive behavior. Constantly helping someone means becoming a keeper of their immaturity, a partner in their mess. Proverbs 17:15, acquitting the guilty and condemning the innocent. The Lord detests them both. Don't help someone when they are being unfair. Your kindness is precious. Don't waste it on a bottomless pit. Sometimes, loving someone means setting boundaries and letting them face the results of their choices. Refusing to help isn't giving up, but rather shining a light on the consequences. This is God's loving strategy. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. False prophets and spiritual manipulators don't just steal your peace, they attack your very soul. They use God's name to serve their own goals, twist the truth, and poison faith. The Apostle John warns us in 2 John 1:10-11, do not receive him, for whoever greets him shares in his evil deeds. Here, he's talking about false teachers who want to trick, destroy, or lead people away from their faith. Supporting these people, even out of kindness, makes you a part of their harmful actions. The message is clear. Separate yourself. Protect your spiritual energy. It's your most valuable asset. Be picky about the voices you listen to. Protect your purpose and let God handle the rest. There are lands, my brothers and sisters, that are so hard, so dry, that even the heaviest rain can't make life grow there. It just runs off, it evaporates, but it never sinks in. Spiritually, there are hearts that are like this barren land. These are the hearts of those who have built a wall of mockery and cynicism around themselves. You come with words of wisdom, but you hit this wall. Your words bounce off like pebbles on a strong fortress. The Bible tells us in Proverbs chapter 9 verse 7, "Whoever corrects a mocker invites insult." This isn't about being harsh, but a lesson in God's wisdom. God tells you to invest in those who truly want the light. God teaches us to know the different types of ground. He is the great sower, and He doesn't throw His precious seeds on concrete. He asks you to do the same. Helping someone who willingly refuses correction is like trying to water a plastic plant and hoping it will bloom. It's a wasted effort, a loss of your precious living water. The mocker isn't looking for light. He enjoys the shadow of his own pride, finding his worth not in truth, but in his ability to make fun of it. He doesn't see correction as a gift, but as a personal attack, a challenge to his fragile ego. Your intention is pure, but to him, it's an insult. Think about the craftsman shaping clay. He doesn't try to shape a stone. He knows that the stone, by its nature, will resist and only break his tools. He focuses on the clay, which is soft, which responds to his touch, which has the potential to become a beautiful vase. You are a craftsman of life, a channel of God's grace. Here's where it gets deeper. Your time, your wisdom, your emotional energy are the tools God has given you. Using them to try and shape a stone is not only tiring for you, but it's also disrespectful to the tools the Master has given you. The mocker is that stone. He has chosen to be hard. He has chosen to resist the transforming touch of truth. This is where divine wisdom and good judgment come in. It's not about judging the worth of a soul, because every soul is precious in God's eyes. It's about judging how open a heart is. It's about understanding where your investment will bear fruit. Helping isn't just giving, it's investing. And God, the greatest investor in the universe, teaches you not to put your most valuable assets, your love, your time, your wisdom, into an account that is purposely closed to any deposit of truth. Leaving the mocker to his mockery isn't giving up, but an act of obedience and good spiritual management. It's recognizing that only God's mighty hand can break a stone. Now, let's turn our gaze from the dry land to the fertile garden. Proverbs chapter 9, verse 8 goes on to say, "Rebuke the wise, and they will love you." What a huge difference. This is the secret to spiritual investing. God calls you to be a smart farmer in the field of human relationships. He tells you to focus your resources, your living water, your light, where there's an openness to change, where the ground is tilled by humility, ready to receive the seed of truth. The wise person doesn't see correction as criticism, but as clarification. He doesn't see it as an insult, but as valuable instruction for his future. Your help is a seed. If you throw it on a path trampled by pride, the birds of mockery will come and eat it before it even has a chance to grow. But if you plant it in the soil of a wise heart, a heart that hungers and thirsts for righteousness, that seed will take root. It will grow, it will flourish, and it will produce a harvest that will not only bless that person, but will bless you in return too. They will love you, the proverb says. Why? Because you become a partner in their growth. You are the tool God used to refine their character and align them with His purpose. Think about it this way. You have a limited amount of fertilizer for your garden. Are you going to spread it on rocks and weeds that have already shown they choke out all life? Or are you going to focus it on the promising young sprouts that are reaching their leaves towards the sun, eager for nutrients to grow? The divine coaching is clear. Invest where there's a spiritual return on investment. This return isn't money, it's transformation. It's the joy of seeing someone flourish, of seeing a character grow stronger, of seeing a destiny fulfilled. It's being a part of God's ongoing creation in the lives of His children. So don't waste your pearls of wisdom. Don't let your energy be drained by those who have made the conscious choice to stay in the dark. Your mission is too important. Your light is too precious. There are souls crying out for the truth you carry. There's a big difference between being in trouble and being lazy. Being in trouble is when we really need help. It's like a flat tire, getting sick suddenly, or losing your job. The Bible tells us to open our hearts and hands to help, but laziness is a choice. It's when someone doesn't want to do their part. It's living off of other people. Paul says in 2 Thessalonians 3:10, "If anyone is unwilling to work, then he should not eat." God says not to support someone who chooses to be lazy. This is about taking responsibility and having dignity. God made us to be productive. Supporting laziness is like being an accomplice. It makes people's talents shrink and stops them from reaching their full potential. Imagine a healthy body. Every muscle has a job. If one arm stops moving, it gets weak. It becomes a burden on the rest of the body. Helping laziness is like encouraging someone to do nothing. It's not helping. It's making things worse. Your kindness becomes a poison for idleness. You're giving them an excuse not to work. God doesn't want your kindness to be taken advantage of. He doesn't want your generosity to become a hammock for someone who is lazy. It should be a boost for someone who has fallen. Helping someone in need is like giving them a fish. Teaching them to fish is like offering them a fishing rod. Supporting someone who refuses to learn is like being part of a system where they take advantage of you. Someone who only wants to benefit from you, not to change. Help those in trouble, not those who are lazy. You help distress, not laziness. This takes smart compassion, a love that isn't afraid to say no. True help lifts someone up to be their best self. Sometimes, true help means stepping back to let someone stand on their own. Knowing the difference between trouble and laziness is a spiritual exercise. Someone in trouble actively looks for solutions. Someone in trouble asks for help, but someone lazy asks for everything. Someone in trouble uses help as a stepping stone. Someone lazy takes help without planning to change. Pray to understand the real reason behind their request. Your help needs to be given carefully. Your job isn't to carry people forever. Your job is to walk alongside them. But you can't walk for them. You can't take their steps for them. Encouraging laziness is stealing someone's victory. It takes away the joy of their own hard work. Your generosity should be a launchpad. It should inspire action. Take a moment before you help. Look beyond the outstretched hand. Is it the hand of a tired worker, or the hand of someone lazy looking for an easy way out? Help those in trouble with all your heart. Be God's grace for those going through a hard time. For laziness, offer truth and encouragement to work. That's what real help looks like. That's love in action. There are some people who walk into a room, and the light just seems to get brighter. And then there are others, when they walk in, a subtle shadow seems to fall. These aren't openly bad people, no. They are often charming, well-spoken. But their special skill, their dark art, is to sow division. They are the masters of, "I heard that," the experts of hinting, the architects of mistrust. Listen carefully to what comes next. They plant a tiny seed of doubt here, a little bit of discord there, tell you about failed attempts without ever concretely telling you how to succeed, and then they step back to watch the chaos grow, often with a look of sad innocence. They feed on the conflict they create in your mind and your environment, finding their importance in the drama they orchestrate. God hates this. Proverbs chapter 6 tells us there are 7 things the Lord hates, and among them is a false witness who tells lies, and one who stirs up quarrels among brothers. It's an abomination in his eyes, because it goes against the very nature of his kingdom, which is a kingdom of unity, peace, and love. The Apostle Paul, in his letter to Titus, chapter 3, verse 10, gives us a very direct and practical instruction. Warn a divisive person once, and then warn them a second time. After that, have nothing to do with them. Notice the process. Warn once, warn a second time. But if the person keeps going, there's a limit. There's a boundary. Why is God so strict about this? Because division is a spiritual cancer. It starts with a small cell of mistrust and quickly spreads, destroying relationships, breaking communities, sabotaging missions, and causing a loss of self-confidence. Helping someone who enjoys causing trouble is like giving fertilizer to that tumor. By giving them your time, your listening ear, your platform, you unknowingly become an accomplice to their destruction. You might think you're helping them by listening, by validating their frustrations, but you're only fueling the fire they started with the goal of burning everything down. These people are peace thieves. They enter your environment, your church, your family, your workplace, and they steal the harmony. They replace trust with suspicion, collaboration with competition, love with bitterness. They are emotional black holes, sucking the positive energy from everything around them. God tells you not to help them. not out of a lack of love, but out of love for the entire body. It's like a surgeon who has to remove a diseased limb to save the patient's life. Protecting the unity of the body is more important than putting up with the part that spreads infection. And here's a crucial point to think about. The divine coaching for this situation is a powerful instruction for your own well-being. Protect your peace and your environment. Your inner peace is a treasure God has given you. It's the gauge of your connection with Him. It's the fertile ground where your destiny can take root and grow. Allowing a troublemaker to camp out in your mind, to pour their venom into your ears, is like letting a burglar into your house to trash your living room. You would never do that in real life, so why allow it in your spiritual life? Setting a boundary with those who cause trouble is not an act of meanness. It's an act of wisdom and spiritual self-protection. It's building a holy fence around your inner garden. The warning Paul mentions is your first line of defense. You say, with love but firmly, I won't be part of this kind of conversation. Let's talk about things that build up, that unite. If the person keeps going, your second warning is to physically remove yourself or end the conversation. If the behavior continues, the third step, distancing yourself, is a conscious decision to drastically limit your interaction with that person to protect your peace. You are the guardian of your atmosphere. You have the power and the responsibility to decide who gets access to your mental and emotional space. You can't control what others say, but you can absolutely control what you choose to listen to and take in. Refusing to be a trash can for others' gossip and complaints isn't being rude, it's being wise. It's also about choosing your thoughts and deciding where to direct your energy. It's honoring the temple of the Holy Spirit, that is your body and your mind. Your environment should be an incubator for your dreams, not a graveyard for your peace. Don't feel guilty for protecting your peace. It's a divine command. Peace isn't just the absence of conflict, and the absence of conflict isn't peace. It's the presence of God. Anything that threatens that presence must be taken seriously. The troublemaker feeds on your reaction, on your attention. By denying them that food, you might not be helping them directly in the way they want, but you stop being an accomplice to their self-destruction and the destruction of others. The Bible teaches you wisdom that protects your future. Don't give holy things to dogs, and don't throw your pearls to pigs. Your gifts, your vision, your dedication are precious pearls made by God. There are some people who don't see the value in what you carry, who want to lead you into sin or distract you from your mission. Protect your heart, protect your vision. Your mission is a divine trust, a seed of greatness. Surround yourself with people who encourage your faith, and set boundaries with those who try to pull you away from your calling. Proverbs says, guard your heart above all else, for everything you do flows from it. Say no to evil, to say yes to God. There's a big difference between helping someone in need and wearing yourself out for someone who looks down on the help you offer. Imagine a farmer. He has precious seeds, full of life and the promise of a harvest. He's not going to throw his seeds on concrete or in a field full of thorns. Why? Because he knows the seeds will be wasted, the concrete can't take them, and the thorns will choke them out. In the same way, your help, your time, your energy, your financial or emotional support are precious seeds. God didn't give you these resources for you to throw them on barren, hostile ground, a heart that actively despises what you sow. Some people aren't looking for help. They're looking for an audience. They don't want solutions. They want attention. You can give them the best advice, offer them golden opportunities, reach out to them with the greatest sincerity, but they'll always find a way to mess up the effort. They'll criticize your help, say it's not enough, twist it, or just plain ignore it. They're not ready to receive. They're ready to reject. Helping such a person is like trying to fill a leaky bucket. No matter how much water you pour in, it will always stay empty, and you'll be tired, frustrated, and drained of your own resources. Contempt is a sneaky poison. It can show up as sarcasm, always being ungrateful, or always disagreeing with everything you suggest. It's a spirit that says, what you have to offer means nothing to me, but I'll let you try anyway, just to prove you're powerless. It's a harmful power dynamic where the person you're trying to help enjoys seeing you fail. They feed off your disappointment. It's an emotional and spiritual black hole that sucks in light and gives nothing back but more darkness. God isn't calling you to be the power source for a black hole. God is a God of effectiveness and fruitfulness. Look at the parable of the sower. The seed fell on different kinds of soil. The only seed that produced fruit was the one that fell on good soil. God is calling you to be a wise sower, a smart spiritual investor. This means you need to learn to figure out the kind of soil in front of you. Pray for everyone, yes. Love your neighbor, absolutely. But investing your most precious resources, your time, your heart, your energy, in soil that has repeatedly shown it, rejects, stomps on, and despises the seed. That's where divine wisdom steps in and says, keep your seeds. There's fertile ground elsewhere, waiting for what you have to offer. I want you to hear this deep in your spirit. Guarding your heart, as Proverbs chapter 4 verse 23 says, isn't being selfish. It's an act of sacred management. Your heart is the control center of your life. It's the source from which everything you are and everything you do flows. If that source is polluted, poisoned by bitterness, frustration, and resentment from constantly giving to those who despise it, then the whole river of your life will be contaminated. You won't be able to give pure water to those who are truly thirsty anymore. Sacrificing yourself for someone who doesn't respect your sacrifice doesn't honor God. It dishonors the temple that you are. There's a kind of false spirituality that tells us we have to let ourselves be walked all over in the name of love. But that's not Jesus' example. Yes, he gave his life, but it was a sovereign, intentional act for a redeeming purpose. He didn't spend his time trying to convince the Pharisees, who twisted every one of his words. He confronted them. Then he moved on to the crowds who were hungry for truth. He told his disciples to shake the dust off their feet when they weren't welcomed. This gesture wasn't an act of anger, but an act of freedom. It meant, I won't carry the burden of your rejection. I leave you to your choice, and I continue my mission. Not sacrificing yourself for those who don't respect your boundaries is an act of wisdom. Your boundaries are holy borders set by God to protect your peace, your energy, and your mission. When someone constantly crosses these boundaries, mocking your no's, ignoring your needs, exploiting your kindness, they're not just disrespecting you, they're disrespecting the God who created you and called you. Continuing to expose yourself to this treatment is implicitly saying that your well-being doesn't matter. But it does. You can't pour from an empty cup. So, as we come to the end of this message, I want this truth to really sink deep into your soul. The most important rule is to love. Love God with all your heart, and love your neighbor as you love yourself. This kind of love doesn't have conditions, and it's for everyone. You're called to show kindness, goodness, and mercy to everyone, no matter who they are. But using this love wisely needs a special kind of wisdom from God. Because God, who loves you so much, also asks you to set clear and strong boundaries. These boundaries aren't like walls to keep people out, but like fences to protect things. They protect your inner peace, they guard your special purpose, and they keep your heart safe, which is where your life comes from. God tells you to love everyone, but He doesn't tell you to help everyone in the exact same way. Loving someone doesn't mean helping them hurt themselves or you. Loving someone doesn't mean paying for their laziness, cheering on their meanness, or clapping for their bad choices. Sometimes, the strongest act of love is to say no. A no that protects who you are. A no that refuses to be part of arguments. A no that keeps your special purpose safe. Love without wisdom can turn into helping someone do wrong. Helping without good judgment can lead to hurting yourself. God calls you to a grown-up kind of love. A love that knows when to reach out and when to pull back to save your energy for better places. I invite you now to take a moment for some real deep thinking. Take a moment, close your eyes if you can, and look at all your relationships. Who in your life is God calling you to help with more generosity, more commitment, more sacrifice? Who is this good ground waiting for the seeds you carry? And then, with the same bravery, ask yourself, who do you need to set boundaries with? Who drains your energy, doesn't appreciate your help, or tries to pull you off your path? Recognizing this isn't judging, it's a necessary checkup for your soul's health and to fulfill your purpose. The answer is found in the quietness of your heart. Don't go on this journey alone. The wisdom and good judgment you need don't come from human smarts, but are a gift from heaven. I encourage you to humbly ask the Holy Spirit to show you the way. Pray, Spirit of God, give me your eyes to see, your ears to hear, and your wisdom to understand. Show me where to invest and where to protect. Give me the courage to love strongly and to set boundaries with grace. He is faithful, and He will guide you. If this message spoke to your heart and gave you clarity, share it with someone who needs it. And subscribe to keep getting these words of life that strengthen, equip, and inspire. May God bless you richly. First, let's do a simple summary. God tells us to love everyone. God tells us to help those in need. God says not to help those who want to keep doing wrong. Proverbs 19:19. Want to trick or destroy faith. 2 John 1:10, 11. Willingly refuse correction. Proverbs 9:7-8. Take advantage of kindness. 2 Thessalonians 3:10. Willingly cause division. Titus 3:10. Want to pull you into sin. The Bible gives us several spiritual ways to figure this out. A. Look at their heart's attitude. 1. Does the person want to change? Someone who knows they need help, you should help them. Someone who refuses correction, the Bible says to set a boundary. Proverbs 9:7-8. Do not correct a mocker. Correct the wise, and they will love you. God tells you to put your effort into those who truly want the light. B. Is the person honest, or are they trying to trick you? Someone who just wants to use you, not change. 2. Thessalonians 3:10. If anyone is unwilling to work, they shall not eat. You help those in trouble, not those who are lazy. C. Will this help bring them closer to God, or encourage bad behavior? God asks you not to become a part of doing wrong. Proverbs 19:19. If you rescue a violent person, you will have to do it again. Helping someone who purposely hurts others, encouraging their destructive ways. D. Does this person respect your boundaries? Someone who pushes you around, tricks you, or criticizes all help is not acting in a healthy way. Matthew 7:6. Do not throw your pearls to pigs. Avoid giving your energy, your peace, your time to someone who doesn't appreciate your help. E. Are you really required to help in this situation? Helping should never put you in danger, take you away from your purpose, destroy your peace, take God's place in someone else's life. Proverbs 4:23. Guard your heart above all else. If helping hurts your heart, God is not asking you to do it. Jesus was full of love, but he wasn't foolish. He set clear, strong, and spiritual boundaries. Here's how. A. Jesus didn't give in to bad requests. Herod wanted a miracle just for show, so Jesus stayed silent. Luke 23:8-9. The Pharisees asked for a sign to trick him, and Jesus said no. Matthew 12:38-39. He didn't help when someone's heart was twisted. B. Jesus kept his distance from dangerous people. When the religious leaders wanted to kill him, he left. John 10:39-40. They tried again to grab him, but he got away from them. Moving away isn't running away, it's being smart about who to trust. C. Jesus didn't tell everyone everything. He was good at knowing what was in people's hearts. John 2:24-25. But Jesus did not trust himself to them, because he knew what was in man. He helped everyone, but he only shared his deepest thoughts with those who were truly faithful. D. Jesus chose who he helped deeply. He healed everyone, but his close guidance, private lessons, secrets of the kingdom, was only for the followers who were ready to walk with him. Even Jesus didn't put the same effort into everyone. E. Jesus set emotional boundaries. He left Nazareth because they didn't respect him. Matthew 13:57-58. He didn't let crowds tell him what to do. Mark 1:35-38. He went away by himself to recharge spiritually. Luke 5:16. He didn't let people use him emotionally or spiritually. Conclusion. We should help others, but not so much that we become part of something bad. We should love, but not let ourselves be destroyed. Helping should be guided by wisdom, good judgment, inner peace, and the Holy Spirit. Thanks for watching. See you next week. If you found these tips helpful, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with your friends and family so others can also learn to be wise. Thanks for being a part of this wonderful community.